Well, the motion's been called because of a petition which was put together which got more than 100,000 signatories, and Nikki Sinclaire is a former UKIP and now an independent MEP from the West Midlands who put together that petition. I'm going to have a chat to Chris Williamson as well, who's a Labour MP for Derby North. But Nikki, first, you got your debate. It will be voted down. But put to us the case for a referendum. I mean, you've heard the case against. We've got a huge sovereign debt crisis in Europe. We've got bank debts. We've got impending economic doom, recessions. It's not a time to rock the boat or indeed to do anything fundamental like this because we could be damaged as a result.
Okay, I mean, for virtually all of my adult life, Europe's been a debate in this country. We've been arguing to and fro. And I just think the reason why I set this petition up, it was a year ago, was to give the people a chance to have a referendum to finally debate the pros and cons of being in the European Union and then make a binding decision in a referendum. Why can't the people decide the future? Okay, this debate has coincided with a Eurozone crisis, but there's always a crisis in the European Union of one sort or another.
Not like this one, though.
Maybe not like this one. It's coincidental that the debate and the timing has just come together. However, we do need to decide. We've been promised referendums by all the three major parties. You have the Liberal Democrats who had an in or out referendum in their manifesto who are not supporting this motion. You've had this process that we've used, the 100,000 signature process, is a new style of politics. It was supposed to empower people. But what have the main political parties done? They've used old politics to crush it by putting three-line whips.
Right. Well, parties have a duty, I guess, to do what they think is right. Chris Williamson, Labour MP for Derby North. I say put the case against. I'm not sure you're going to do that, but what's your take on this?
Well, I think the whole issue about an in or out referendum is frankly a sideshow. I mean, you've set out the position. We're facing the biggest crisis, frankly, that we've had in this country, or indeed in Europe, for 80 years. And to spend time debating an issue which is settled now. I mean, we made a binding decision back in 1975. And to suggest that now is an appropriate time when there are far more pressing matters to consider would, I think, be a dereliction of duty.
And then one other point, Nikki, is that there's going to be another look at Europe, isn't there? Because whichever way Greece goes, if it defaults, then you'll get probably a closer union of some members of the EU, and that will mean a restructuring of the treaty. If it manages to keep going, chances are there'll be amendments to the treaty to make sure it doesn't happen again. So again, there'll be a chance for us to renegotiate. So either way, we're going to get the chance to renegotiate.
No, not necessarily. First of all, the referendum that we had in 1975 was about a trading bloc, and I was about 6 years old at the time. Since then, Maastricht made us citizens of the European Union, and we weren't given a choice on that. No, it is the whole thing that the Prime Minister is saying, and all the main parties are saying, was, well, we can renegotiate to get powers back. But to renegotiate in the European Union, and part of the problem with the European Union is you have to have unanimity. You have to get the consent of the other 26 countries, and if you don't get any changes, and we're not going to get that. But to leave the European Union, all you need to do is comply with Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty, and you only need the UK Parliament.
But we'd be left out in the cold then, wouldn't we? I mean,
no, we would not. Why would
it's the biggest single market
40%,
in the
40%.
world.
The Prime Minister has said 40%.
We've got over 50% of our trade
no,
is
40%.
with
The Prime Minister
is with the EU, and whether it's 40, whether it's 50%, it's a significant figure. The figures I have, it's in excess of 50%. But look, the point is, it's hugely important economically. It's hugely important, I think, as well socially. You look at a lot of the social reforms which have come through the European Union have been extremely beneficial to ordinary people in this country. I disagree with you. It creates a huge market, a massive opportunity for small businesses in this country. And the European Union is an excellent bulwark against the ravages of unbridled globalisation.
Trouble is, Craig, just to intervene very briefly, your constituents, by and large, I suspect, are not very much pro-Europe, are they? I mean, whenever you ask people their gut feelings, they don't like it.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. I mean, I think the latest poll that I saw today suggests that the opinion is reasonably evenly split. That is pretty astonishing when you consider the level of vitriol which has been poured on the European Union by people like Nikki and Tory Eurosceptics and large sections of the national media. It's hardly surprising that people have a jaundiced view of it.
I'm going to ask you to pause there. I'll see if I can get some more from you in just a second, but there's one other thing I want to hear. I wanted to hear from Adam Holloway, Obviously, this has caused a great dissension inside the Conservative Party. There's been huge pressure from ministers on those who threaten to vote no. And if you're a PPS, then there is particular pressure. And if you're PPS to the Europe Minister David Lidington, as is Adam Holloway, then the pressure is doubled. Nevertheless, he has announced his resignation to the House of Commons.
I've loved playing my minuscule little job as a PPS in the Foreign Affairs team, whose ministers I respect, and believe me, who are doing a very good job. And trust me, and I'm not sucking up again, they don't come better than the Minister for Europe, here at this point. I'm mostly enthusiastic about the coalition in private, and if you're part of a team, you support it. But if you can't support a particular policy, then the honest course of action is, of course, to stand down. And I want decisions to be made more closely by the people they affect, by local communities, not upwards towards Brussels. Well, I'm not now prepared to go back on my word to my constituents.
Yeah, and there was quite a hear there, wasn't there? That's Adam Holloway. I know PPS is a sort of unpaid position, but it's a first step to ministerial role, and he's been prepared to sacrifice it. So I guess, Chris Williamson, at least you have to applaud somebody who acts on principle.
Well, yeah, but I think he's misguided. As I've already pointed out, the fact is that the European Union has been hugely beneficial for people of this country. And without the European Union, I just wonder, how would we survive? How would we punch our weight in the world if we stand outside the European Union? I think we would.
Nicky's almost bursting with impatience to get in here.
Well, first of all, YouGov polls, and there's been 3 in the last 6 weeks, that shows that more than 60% of people want a referendum, and more than 52% would vote to leave the European Union, with only 30% that would vote to stay in.
Doesn't mean they're right, of course. I mean, sometimes it's up to MPs to try and look at these things properly and decide what should be done in the national interest.
That is a huge, from 52 to 30%, is way beyond the margins of error. What I would say is, look, the European Union is not. We're a member of the Security Council. We're a member of the G8. We are a huge country in our own right. The problems that we have with world trade is that we're actually stuck into this protectionist Eurozone, or the European Union.
It's curious, how many times I've heard this debate over the years.
That's what I said. It's about time we sorted it out.
It's like I'm stuck in a time warp. We just keep on going round and round. With
let's have a national debate.
We need to move forward. A progressive Europe. That's what we need in this country.
Why don't you put the case to the people? Let's have a debate.
Okay.
Put the case to the people and a binding referendum.
It's a total sideshow.
Thank you very much indeed to both. That's Chris Williamson and Nikki Sinclair. The debate continues inside and outside the House of Commons. It's 14 minutes past 6.
Libya's new authorities have announced